The producer to do his job. Tell him hush.
We live. When we back.
We are live. Yes.
Welcome back all. And matter of fact, let me close this door.
See, I just had to do the same thing. Okay. Got more kids in the house now. It's getting louder.
Now we back. Welcome back to another episode of Ravens Roundup. And it's the big three so far. We may have the big four and maybe eventually have the big five. We'll see. But interesting week in Ravens land. Interesting past 2 days. Interesting today. What went on in what we call the castle with this little press conference. That was very interesting. Some words that were shared at that point, and we'll talk about those in a little bit. But matter of fact, B, let me start our timer. You know, we about timers around here now.
Well, look, the Ravens didn't win, but we still need a toast to 10,000 subscribers.
You know what?
Yes, absolutely.
I forgot about that part because I was PO'd about the Ravens not winning.
I hear you. All right, but I'm raising my glass.
Congratulations, Coach.
Salute.
I'll fake toast. How about that?
There you go.
1 second. I'm still here, but I'm not still here. I do it.
You know, 10,000 and to us for 2,000. Okay, we hit 2,000 a few hours after Coach hit 10,000. So appreciate you guys. All right.
Well, I want to just salute like this. Salute you guys for hitting 2,000, and salute everybody that then subscribed to help me get to 10,000. I appreciate every sub. And I'm sure, you know, I speak for both Jose and B2. Every sub matters, every like matters, every comment matters, and keep subbing, keep sharing, and keep, you know, pushing the real narratives, the narratives that matter, the unfiltered narratives, the not purple shade narratives.
Yes. Yeah. Look, you know, we threw some shots last or on Sunday. You know who we're talking about. Okay. So, just gonna leave it at that. Shots fired.
But sometimes shots need to be fired. Then sometimes the shots be fired back that they thought were fired in silence.
Mm-hmm. Good.
Now that went over your head. We gonna let it stay where it stay, but sometimes that go over your head.
Hey, we accept all smoke. It's all good. You got something to say to it? I mean, Ravens related, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, get off your chest. You got something to say to us, let us know.
Right. Appreciate you, Rave Kingdom, for dropping 2. He said, John. Appreciate it. And we gonna get to that guy here in a little bit. At least, and I don't know about you, Jose, at least me and Brodney do have a team that we can be proud of at the moment.
That's right.
Hey, Maryland won. We won our game. We're 2-1. All right.
You proud of that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
It's all about expectations. Okay.
That is true. That's very true.
4 more games and bowl eligible, baby. Let's go.
True that.
Ooh.
True that.
That's
Definitely
right.
True that.
That's right. I can't imagine being.
Yes,
engaged.
you can.
I cannot imagine being engaged in the college football season when I'm trying to count down the wins to being bowl eligible.
Well, you know, we just got back into college football, to be honest, me and B. So like, I'm just enjoying just college football in general. I'm happy for Miami. Like when the U is on top, man, college football is more exciting. So I'm with it.
Yeah, and we not on top. I'm not gonna say we back.
I'm gonna say
we a capital B with the lowercase a right now. That's what we at. That's what we at. Capital B with lowercase a. And I'll be honest with you, what helped us out, it ain't this great recruiting that Mario doing. NIL really helped us out.
Yep.
We got great boosters down there that's willing to donate and get our collective and different NIL things together, and the kids coming because there's money down there. That's what's getting us back. It ain't.
Well, the school got scared the last time. You had some unsavory characters around the program. So now you pushed out a lot of boosters and donors and whatnot. But now that it's legal, right? You get those people will start coming back and bringing keeping the talent home. So
not the one,
right?
In jail.
Yes, not that one.
No, he out.
He out now.
Yeah, he out.
I mean, not good for him. He seems like a bad dude, but
if
he wants to bring some recruits back to Miami, then we'll call it even.
Yeah, I think he's out. But I know who you're talking about. Before we get into the first question, shout out to Matt D for joining us. Ray Keenan then dropped 2 more. He said,
"Salute.
Was I wrong for feeling the way I felt on the call-in show? Nope. You was not wrong. You was 100% right, and I'm glad you ended it with your cheese bites." He said he wasn't gonna let John get him too upset because he ordered some Papa John's and he got some cheese bites. So I'm glad he got his cheese bites to not let John get on his nerves too much. But shout out to Rave Kingdom for coming through. Jeremiah Barnes, I appreciate you. Love you. Thank you. Killer Cam was good. Malik, what y'all call this? MJ? By Urban Closer.
Yeah. I think his old name used to be MJ, right? It was MJ. Yeah. I think he changed it. Yeah. But Urban
Closer, yeah. Matt D, Daniel Barry Sports. Daniel, don't I be seeing you in the Mets little YouTube circles? I think I do be seeing you in the Mets YouTube circles. I'm a huge Lindor fan. I think I be seeing Daniel in the Mets YouTube circles. Eva Lamar, Ravenville 15, Killer Cam. I think I got Cam already. Yolanda, appreciate you and thank you for she said congratulations on 10K. Thank you. Huso Cash says what's up, family. Appreciate you. Rah rah. Who else we got? RJ Horry, thank you for joining the Optimus Prime. Jared Green was good. Anthony Lewis, and I think I hit everybody that's came so far. If I missed you, charge it to my head, not my heart. Anthony Lewis says hashtag fire Harbaugh. We're gonna get to Harbaugh. We're gonna get there. Yeah. And again, if any of those guys pop in, let me know so I can add them to the stream. But we're gonna get started with our first question. And what I'll do is I'm gonna give the guys the question, and I do have them kind of typed up on the screen that you guys can't see. So I'll put the questions in the chat box too for you guys to kind of answer and talk as well. And if I see a comment I need to throw up on the screen, I will do that. So that's how we're gonna roll right here. Let me copy this. Copy. Paste. Enter. All right, so the first question.
Donations.
Oh, donation. KP dropped a donation. Let me see what that say. It says Osama bin Harbaugh stuck again. Time to tank so John can dip. Appreciate the dollar, KP. Appreciate it. But the question is, Derick Henry, and I mistyped that. Derick Henry had 18 carries for 84 yards and 4.7 yards per carry per attempt, and it still feels like we misused him. What y'all think?
Absolutely. You gotta run the ball in the second half. Like this is his identity, right? Like the second half is when he really gets going, is when he really wears down the defense. And I don't really feel like it. I mean, he did better in the second half, but that fourth quarter, we're up 10. You gotta run the ball, man. Like that's supposed to be your identity. You have to make it happen. And I just don't feel like they used him nearly enough. So that's 2 weeks in a row for me that we're not getting the full use out of him. How many carries did he finish with?
18.
Nah, it's not enough. Anything below 20
for 84, I think. I think it was 18 for 84, 18 for 87, something like that.
Yeah, no, I ain't feeling it.
Yeah, but again, this is why we said we didn't like the signing. He averaged 16 a carry last season, or 16 a game last season. I mean, those numbers are coming down. And no, I mean, look, they had a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter, right? And if you have this great defense and you have King Henry, you're supposed to shut the game down at that point. Like they shouldn't even have had enough time with the ball to come back. You feed Derick Henry and you let him bring it home for you. But it didn't really go that way.
True. Gary says they asked Harbaugh about Cleveland at the press conference today, and he responded like he was put on blast about his side chick. Appreciate the vibe share. My answer to the question is he was short 100 yards by about 13 or 16 yards, and it still feels like he could have gotten another 70 yards because most of those yards came in the third quarter, most of them. So he barely had yards in the first and second quarter. Went ghost in the fourth quarter, which is when we need him the most. Mm-hmm. So I still think you say we didn't bring him here to get 30 carries, and okay, 22, 24 would be nice.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're trying to preserve him because they know he's older. Mm-hmm. But what about Lamar? What about preserving Lamar? Yeah. When you see him getting blown up by Max Crosby, maybe. Oh, Chris is here.
Okay, let me get Chris in. Tell him I'm coming.
Coach will be there soon, Chris.
There you go.
What's up, fellas?
What up?
But yeah, man, I get trying to preserve him, but you got to preserve Lamar. If you're not going to be able to protect him, you can't keep trying to pass the ball. All right, you're gonna have to say, hey, Dad, you're gonna get heavier load right now until this old line starts to get it together. We gotta grind it out early on in the season, but it can't be all on Lamar's shoulders.
Well, and the other thing is preserve for what?
And then even though you got, Justice Hill 4 carries. If you're trying to preserve him, Justice Hill need more than 4 carries then.
Yeah.
But I'm saying you're not preserving anything if you're losing games.
True. Oh, I did want to say this before we start. I'm sorry. I meant to make this announcement before we start. Nobody in the chat box is allowed to say the P word this whole stream. And that's playoffs.
Oh, okay.
Playoffs.
Because I feel like Jim Mora. Playoffs? Playoffs? We'd be lucky to win a damn game. Playoffs? So we got to get in the win column before we even think about playoffs first. We got to get one W before we even think about playoffs. So we ain't thinking about playoffs right now. We just thinking about wondering what happened yesterday and then worrying about how we're going to get in the win column. But, Chris, I don't know if you heard. Did you hear the first question? Were you in here at that time?
No.
The question was, Derick Henry had 18 carries for 84 yards and 4.7 yards per carry. It still feels like we misused him. Do you feel that way?
Yeah, it's... and in the second half, they finally figured out a way
we have NFL Doc
let's
Rivers
not run
as
it
our
on
head
the side
coach.
where Max Crosby
He has
is.
to go.
Let's go on the opposite side. Let's run some outside zone plays. And that's when things started to pick up. And after that, it was just a drop off, kind of like going to Zay. Mm-hmm. Zay was heating them up, getting those intermediate routes like we spoke about last week on the show. Mm-hmm. We spoke about getting Zay involved in the intermediate routes, and they did that in the beginning. Then it just tailed off again. And I think the one thing John Harbaugh said that was right is inconsistency. But that's on every level. That's on the play calling. That's on the usage. Everything is inconsistent. It's not just the offensive line play. Everything is inconsistent. It just doesn't make sense. There's some play calls where it's just there's no rhyme or reason to it. And then you watch other offensive teams in the league. Just look at the Saints. You see them and they're able to layer plays and kind of set traps for defenses. And this one is just in a way, it's just like calling plays to call plays sometimes.
Are you referring to Charlie Kolar up the middle?
He could be.
Yikes.
Hey, SGA Hornet tip 5 and says we have the NFL Doc Rivers as our head coach. He got to go. Old Doc. It's crazy. Acho said it, and I didn't see Acho's comment, but I did see it on Hendo's video. He inserted Acho's comment about the Ravens, and I said it on the live yesterday. We don't have an identity, and it's obvious. We don't know what, like, we don't have a staple. We don't have something that we can say, hey, we need, it's 3rd and 2. We can run this play and we're gonna get it 99 out of 100 times.
And that's been years. That's been the problem. Because even if you look back to when Lamar first came in the league and you say, hey, this is a run team. This is what they do. This is what they're great at. They got to the playoffs and didn't do it. And ultimately it's been Marty Mornhinweg, it's been Greg Roman, it's been Todd Monken. Now ultimately that's on John Harbaugh and why he should not be the coach anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, B's been saying it for years. Like, they don't have a real identity, and it's true. Like, they lie about what their identity is, right? But they don't ever lean into it. If you want to be a run-heavy team, then try to get the best running back possible. You want to get a playmaker at that position. If that's what you really want to do, get 2 of them. If you're saying, hey, we want to go young with the O-line, then why are you getting a 30-year-old running back? If you're going young, go young.
Mm-hmm.
Go
all the way.
Yeah, if you're bringing in guys and you don't want to give anybody a huge amount of carries, don't get somebody that needs a big amount of carries to get going.
Right. Well, that guy hurt right now for us. But I see what you're saying about bringing somebody in. I definitely understand what you're saying.
If that's the case, just keep J.K. Dobbins. That wouldn't cost you anything.
It'll cost you 2 peanut butter sandwiches and a soda.
Yeah, I mean,
but J.K. didn't want to come back. He wanted to go out and go somewhere he could be the guy and all that.
I don't blame him. I don't. Yeah.
140 on the Panthers defense, so he could flip into the end zone, have fun playing football again.
Man, I got so scared when he flipped. I said, please don't get hurt.
He was having a good time.
Yeah.
Right. Dale dropped the 5, and then he swung right. He spun the block and dropped 10 and says, "Who going to get fired for this short bus O-line if Lamar get hurt?"
That's the question.
That's a great question, Daryl. Let's see. So, I don't. Ooh.
That's a tough one because you can't really come out and fire Eric DeCosta after you've been praising him so highly so often, right? But it is his fault.
100%
it's his fault.
Because of construction, right?
Yeah.
There's no plan. There was no plan in place.
So I have a question. I have a devil's advocate question. Mm-hmm. If in Eric DeCosta's mind, okay, Ben Cleveland's played good in his little game tape, I can let Kevin Zeitler go and slide Ben Cleveland in there, and the coaches don't do that. Is that DeCosta's fault?
Yeah.
Just speaking on right guard. Just speaking on right guard. Not the whole. Just one specific, because that could have been his plan. But you know where I'm going?
Yeah, no, I hear what you're saying, but that's still not a solid plan because you don't know that Ben Cleveland can hold down that spot, and you should know that John Harbaugh's not going to play him. Like, if you're in the building with him every day and you're living next door, you should know that he don't like Ben Cleveland. He ain't going to put him in the game.
Well, and also, you should be at a point now where you're saying, if you're EDC, I've had how many draft classes? I've drafted 40 to 50 people.
Mm-hmm.
How many of them are actually working out? Right? Not many. Based on how, like compared to how many he's actually drafted, not many of them are actually working out. Is it me or is it the coach? You know what I'm saying? If I'm confident in my scouting skills, I know I'm getting the right guys, and they're just not paying out with this coach. You're the problem, not me.
Yep. Shout out to Nitro for popping in. Since they salute on the 10K. Thank you, big dog. Yeah, I know he's growing just as fast as weeds over there too. So appreciate you. Oh, and if you didn't see his little skit about paid in full, that was pretty funny, Nitro. That was pretty funny. About jokers get shot every day. That was pretty funny. So salute on that one. That That was pretty good. Question two. Now I put it in the chat box once I asked the fellas. Double R visibly outplayed McCarry. Why is the rookie still not the starter?
Because he's a rookie and Harbaugh don't like playing young guys.
That's about as good as an answer as you're gonna get. Because it doesn't make sense. I mean, anybody with two eyeballs not named John Harbaugh could see it.
And I think, it's not like Roger was like outstanding, but like I said, he did outplay McCarry, and I think it's just in the back of his mind. He's like, well, I want the more experienced guy in there. Roger will be ready a little later, blah blah blah. But no, it doesn't make any sense.
Because like during the live game, it was obvious Rosengartner could handle Max in the pass pro. Like when he got in, all the stuff Max was doing, like rushing Lamar the pocket and whatnot, I ain't gonna say it stopped, but it wasn't as fast. Lamar was able to maneuver and get around and do some things. And then on some straight up plays where Max didn't just get like super duper wide, Rosengartner was able to to handle him. Mm-hmm. And then he even went to the other side when Rosengartner was in there and went to test Ronnie to see if he can get off with Ronnie. So, and then they come back and put McCarry in. Like, this.
They did give Roger help though, and I to be fair, I don't know if they did that with McCarry. I didn't pay attention specifically to him.
He got both of them got some help. Both of them got some help.
Well, I mean, Pat gotta go.
He should never been starting. He's a career backup. Like we like him because he's a good rotational player. He can play different spots, but not starting. And you penciled him in beginning of the year to be the starter. I have a problem with that.
He's a guy that's good to have on the team because if somebody gets hurt, you can say, okay, well, we got Pat. It's not gonna implode on us for the next 4 weeks or whatever. But he's not a starter. And this is the thing that Baltimore should know, because you know he's not a starter because of what you paid him. It's kind of like Rashad Bateman. Rashad Bateman is not that guy because of what you paid him. Stop acting like they're that guy.
Right. We're going to talk about him a little bit, too. Definitely going to talk about that clown. Wow. Hey, this was almost a shiesty man show.
Harsh.
I almost broke out my hoodie.
This was almost a shiesty man show. Almost. It's right behind this green screen. This was almost a shiesty man show.
He caught 75% of his targets, right?
He did. Nah, he did. He did. But we gonna get to him in a minute. Chris, did I skip you? I know you piggybacked off Jose, so I didn't know if that was going to be your final comment or what.
It just goes back to like the train, like when we did a video during training camp, and it's like this was the plan, like it's just like it was thrown together.
Mm-hmm.
This is not a real plan. Oh, let's take the fat ass who is 380 pounds allegedly, and who's never played guard before. Let's move him into the guard spot, and he's going to be the starter. Like, I can't fathom that that's the plan going into the off season. For that, you just keep Kevin Zeitler. He's getting paid like what McDonald's employees get paid, pretty much. So it's like it just doesn't make sense. Bring Zeitler back. You're going to have 3 new starters on the offensive line, and Lele is one of them.
Right.
Like, it doesn't make any sense at all. Because I would understand if Zeitler left and he got paid like big money. And it's like, all right, I get it. But he got paid nothing.
Right.
Nothing. And this is what you like. It doesn't make sense.
Mid-level exception money. Pennies on the dollar.
He's getting paid more than double what Odell got paid last season.
Less than double.
I mean, my bad. So Odell got paid more than
15?
double what he. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I got a problem with Voorhees being out there too. Like, not saying he can't be good, but like your starting lineup is Voorhees, Rosengart or Bakari, and Falele. Nah, man. Like that's I said on this show. Like if Voorhees wins that starting job day one, we have a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's too much. It's too many guys in that starting five that are learning on the job. If it's one, you can get around that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe two if the other three are really good, but three of them are learning on the job.
Yeah, basically playing three rookies. Even if Ben Cleveland isn't in this mix because he don't have enough starts to be considered not, that's still three rookies. That's even if Ben Cleveland is involved in this mix.
Yeah,
because I mean I know technically contractually him and Falele not rookies, but they've never had significant amounts of snaps. So technically, as far as playing the game, they're still rookies. Then you would have three rookies playing.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. Like somebody just said, we got a JV O-line. Right.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. What's that? Red Keenum dropped 2. He said, this dude hates Cleveland. Y'all heard him? Yeah. We heard him. We're gonna talk about it in a minute. We saving old Johnny for last. We saving old Johnny for last. We're gonna get to him. We're gonna get to him. Did I put this in here? Hold on. Question number 3 is old Rashad Bateman. Rashad Bateman caught 3 of 4 targets Sunday, with the one incompletion being a crucial interception. What do y'all think about his performance Sunday?
Chris?
So I was messaging with Coach earlier. I thought it looked like the DB got there early and hit his hand. I don't know. It's inconclusive on film for me. I need the JFK, the dudes who did all the JFK assassination film. I need them to slow it down and enhance it. But either way, it's inconclusive. So, people put it on, like, the people who hate Lamar put it on Lamar. They say, oh, he shouldn't be throwing it. That's a fine throw. Like, it's a fine throw. That can't happen. Like, whether the dude hit it or not, like, that just in that spot, that cannot happen because that changes the game, completely. He came back, he made a nice catch. Again, it was like similar to the Chiefs one. But I don't know, man. It's like an anomaly with him and Lamar and this team. It's just like it's a lot of frustration. It seems like across the board. Like you see Zay frustrated, you see Lamar frustrated, you see Bateman frustrated. Like it's just frustration all around, And I feel like that's definitely on the play calling too. It's like these guys can't get into a groove.
Mm-hmm.
You got to make things easy for your players. We praised Mike McDonald last season because he had his players in the right position to make plays, and it seems like on offense we don't really get that. Like it's kind of like pulling teeth on offense, And there are guys that are talented on the offense. I mean, you look at the skill position players, and you're like, oh yeah, they got talent, But for one reason or another, it's like we can't get it to work or to mix or gel, and it's everybody's getting frustrated. You could see it. You can see it on TV.
Yeah. No, I think I don't know. Like I warmed up to Monken at the end of last year. I liked what he was doing, and I thought they were going to build off of that. But honestly, like the O-line took a major step back, and I think that throws off the timing of everything. Right. I think it's hard for them to get into a rhythm when you don't have time for plays to develop. That changes how you have to call these plays. You gotta get creative. I mean, it's still your job to do it at the end of the day, but that's a big, that's a big change. Like we're supposed to get better at O-line, not get significantly worse at O-line. But as far as Rashad Bateman, I ain't got no beef with Rashad Bateman. I just don't think he's that guy. Right. Like he's just a guy. You know, I know, you know, we're talking about how, you know, he was open a lot of times last year and whatnot, but man, he ain't no number one. He ain't no playmaker. Like he's all right. So yeah, I'm not gonna. All right, the ball hit him out. You know, the ball hit off his hands. Fine. I don't really expect big plays from him.
Yeah, I just like looking at the picture, like and honestly, Chris, whether the dude got there or not, the dude didn't break his hands enough to where he still should not have looked that ball in and squeezed it, because I mean, I don't look the ball in and catch it. This is because he.
Oh, I didn't even see you had it up. No, so what I'm thinking is, this is what I'm just thinking. I don't know.
Okay.
So he goes to put his hands out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what it looked like is his right arm got pushed down and kind of made that clap, that like kind of
before the ball got there.
Before the ball got there, so he had his hands like this, and the defender pushed his hand down like this. I could be wrong. I mean, you saw the film, so it's a little blurry. Like,
because this picture kind of you know, follows what you're saying.
That's just what it looked like, but it's hard to tell. Like that clip that I sent you, that's about as good as it's gonna get. But even that, you can't really tell because it just the shadows and it gets blurry. But it's hard to tell. Only he
the
knows.
defender's right arm is on. You know, it could be on Bateman's arms. What you're saying? It could have just pulled it down. Yeah, that's possible.
But like I said, I don't know. I can't tell. Only Bateman and Bennett know.
But he also the play before, well, a couple plays before that, well, his catch before that, he double caught and they almost pulled that away from him.
Oh, that one was behind. The one going across the middle?
Maybe. It wasn't a curl, so probably was the one going across the middle.
Yeah,
I feel like he double caught it, and they almost yanked that one.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see about dude, man. We'll see. And he caught a curl, and I talked about a play that I saw. I did the Patreon video before I went back to work for open house, and I did like all the offense for the first half, and that's they ran 3 curls. Bateman was by far the open person. Lamar threw the ball to the bottom of the screen with Zay and Nelly right next to each other.
Mr. 17.5, just so you know I'm here.
Appreciate it, B. B dropped 17.5. He say, just so we know here. Ain't that a rap lyric? 17.5. Ain't that Jeezy?
I don't know. I only listen to K-pop.
What? This man called Jeezy K-pop? that's a travesty for us down south, man. Chris, you violate.
No, I didn't say him. I said I only listen to K-pop.
Oh, you only listen to K-pop? Oh, I thought you said you don't listen. Well, you got an excuse to listen to K-pop. Some of us don't. But B, did you start us off with Bateman, didn't you? Or did you let Chris?
No, I mean, I just, you know, it, like Jose was saying, I don't really look at and think of him as the potential number one anymore. So like watching that is kind of like seeing him throw the ball to Nelson Aguilar and it bounces off his hands. Like I just, it, you know, that caliber player is going to happen. Like Chris said, it could have been the defender, could have been Bateman himself, who knows? But he's just not. You know, for whatever reason, it doesn't seem to be working. And like you mentioned, you know, he'd be open and Lamar goes somewhere else. You know, there's some quarterbacks who will just not go to certain players if they just don't trust them. You know, that's why Alan Lazard had so many targets when I needed some points from Garrett Wilson the other day. It's just the way some quarterbacks are. And if you don't trust Rashad or you don't think he's going to make a play, you'll go away from him to go to Zay in a worse situation because you trust him. And if that's the case, then it's time for Rashad to go.
All right. Let's move on to question number 4. It says, where is it? After having 100+ yards in game 1, Isaiah likely finished with only 26 yards in game 2. Why the disappearing act?
Well, again, like the O-line, there's going to be some inconsistencies there, right? Like, with the timing and everything. I think the defense, I didn't study the film, but I'm guessing the defense accounted more for Isaiah Likely this game. And, Mark Andrews wasn't able to take advantage of that. That's pretty much it. And just our coaching was just awful. It was a bad day for Harbaugh. Like it was just bad play calling, poor blocking, run and pass. I said yes yesterday. I'm not sure they're worse at pass protection or run blocking. They're equally bad. I don't know, man. Like we just played awful.
Yeah, I don't know. I heard Todd Monken was running 2 tight ends at Georgia, no problem. So I'm not sure what the issue appears to be in the NFL. Mark had a better day than he had before, and it could just be, hey, he's getting back to 100%, and they just want to work him in. But that'd be kind of stupid after Isaiah having 100-something yards in week 1 and being one of the best playmakers on the field. So yeah, not sure.
And it's not, and it's more so the 26 yards are bad. They're bad. But just 3 targets. Only 3.
Mm-hmm.
Only 3. So you're not giving it to Henry enough. You're not targeting your 2 best playmakers enough. Now, Zay had 11 targets, understandably. Yeah. And most of them came in the first half because he went missing in the second half, too. And then Likely only gets 3 targets. So what are we doing?
Yeah.
What's on what? Because every time they pan up there to Todd, and y'all know I like Todd, but the patience is running out. Every time they pan up to him, he got his marker, writing some shit down and figuring, but we ain't getting no results.
Looking at that whole place, he's like, man, none of this shit works.
Now, there is a reason why he could potentially be saying that. It's called guard play. But that's, we ain't got that question. I don't think I had that question, but he could definitely be saying that because of guard play. Definitely could be saying that.
Yeah.
But still, it's as an offensive coordinator, it's your job to make it work.
Yes.
We see other guys, other offensive coordinators who do more with less.
Mm-hmm.
And that's your job. Your job is to, okay, these are our weaknesses. We know the defense is gonna attack that weakness. So we have to plan around that and use it to our advantage because we know where the defense is gonna go.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to plan around that. And again, I brought them up earlier. The Saints, they did that with Micah Parsons yesterday.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back and look at that one.
What are y'all gonna do with Micah Parsons?
Pray.
Right this way, sir.
We have this luxurious Lamborghini back here that you may want to tackle, but just don't tackle him too hard, okay? But Chris, you made a point, and I had something I wanted to piggyback off of, but in the midst of me cracking jokes, I forgot. Kind of dog it. What'd you say, Chris?
You're saying that
it's the offensive coordinator's job to...
Oh yeah. I got my point. I get that in just a second, Donovan. It's putting the guys in the right situation because it's an offensive coordinator job. It's obvious that we can't move people off the point. So why do we still keep calling so much counter and power? That kind of goes back to what Chris was saying. Like, if they struggle moving guys or getting to the second level, why keep calling that? Well, I ain't gonna say throw it out, but it should not be equal footing. Like, I looked at PFF, and they give you zone runs versus gap runs, with the running back, and it don't always be accurate, but it be kind of close. And they had Derick Henry with 18 runs, 9 zone, 9 gap. That still shouldn't be happening. If I got Derick Henry and I know what he's good at and what he's been good at for 10, however many years he's been in the league, I'm gonna run more of that. So if Derick Henry got 18 runs, 14 of them gonna be zone. and I may have 4 counting power, but I'm gonna run what he good at.
But what if your head coach is very stubborn?
Ain't no what if.
Good point.
No what if. Donovan says Harbaugh clownishness is palpable. A full-on clown show. The Circus Birds would never be a serious Super Bowl contender under him. Nevermore. True words have not been spoken in a long time. Thank you, Donovan. Appreciate the 5. It is what it is. It is what it is. Levi, stick to the subject, Levi. Stay focused, Levi. We ain't talking about nobody else. We talking about the Ravens. Huh? No, Levi in the comment section. He want to know what's going on in Carolina. Carolina ain't the topic.
I thought Levi was talking about some jeans.
Carolina not the topic.
I can tell them what's going on in Carolina.
Carolina ain't the topic.
It's pretty obvious.
Okay, well, hold on. Because people like to do that to B. They like to take little shots at B. Do we want to compare ourselves to the worst teams in the league? I thought we were trying to compete for a Super Bowl.
I mean, but to be honest, because like the Ravens fans like to do that, and it's weird to me because like from my perspective, I feel bad for Ravens fans, right? Because you've got the 2-time MVP, that you got the guy, and almost refused to get it done, right? They almost refused to do the right thing. But I'm like, it's always funny when people try to take shots because it's like, yeah, Carolina has 6 straight losing seasons, and in the last decade, they still have as many playoff wins as you. Who's winning that argument? Honestly,
and Super Bowl appearances.
That's why that's why I stay in lane 8. I don't get outside my lane. And this is my motto at work too. If it don't come in lane 8, I don't see it. Did you hear about such? Nope. Now I could have been heard about it, but I ain't gonna tell them. Did you see something? Nope. Nope. But did you know we doing with XYZ? Nope. Nope. Stay in lane 8. If it don't cross lane 8, I don't see it. If it don't cross lane 8, I don't see it.
And real quick, I think that's good what they're doing for Bryce. Like putting him on the bench. I think that's good. Sending him out there to get killed and to wreck his game and wreck his confidence completely, it would be stupid in my opinion. So I think they're doing the right thing.
Yeah, let Andy take that beating.
Well, but the thing is, I don't think Andy is going to take a beating. Like the offensive line has been playing better. Bryce was he was the cause of a lot of the hits that he was taking the first couple of weeks. But he does need to get out of the game and clear his head and then see if he can get some of that confidence back. And they can put him back in later this season and see if he's doing any better or if it's just time to draft Cam Ward.
Right.
Yeah, I agree.
Good old Cam. All right, let's flip to the other side. I wish Hendo was here for this one. I wrote this question specifically for Hendo. Oweh had 2.5 sacks. Has he officially arrived?
He looked good in the game. He looked good. I mean, I expected a bigger year from Oweh. I said double-digit sacks for him, and I think he's going to get it. Arrived? I mean,
what do you mean by arrived? Because, like, for me, I've seen this on tape last year.
Mm-hmm.
He just got injured.
Mm-hmm.
But like arrive, like he's going to be one of those
putting it all together.
Like, because to me the main thing was him staying healthy last year. Because I mean we saw him, have really good games last season, but it seems like he's building off of that. But it's all about health to me because I think he has the ability to do it. It's just about staying on the field and not getting hurt, in my opinion.
But the reason I say that because I feel like health was part of it, but I also felt like finishing plays was a part of it too. So that's kind of why I said, has he arrived and put it all together? That's my reasoning behind the question.
And we saw that last week, where he had Mahomes dead to rights, and I don't know if Oweh's cross-eyed or something, but he just went right past Mahomes when he had a clear sack.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's that hand-eye coordination. I miss sacks on Madden like that all the time.
I don't know what I did on college football, but my quarterbacks take a beating, and they spin out of it and stumble out, and I launched that sucker down there for a touchdown. I don't know what button I like, what scouting thing I did, or what thing I bought. My coach's points. But I love it. I know one of my friends like, man, you must got the best strength and conditioning coordinator on the game.
Don't be like John. You slide that protection, coach. You let him stand. Yes, you let him stand in the pocket and throw the ball. All right. Don't make him be Lamar.
I'll half slide that thing and use the back. We ain't full slide nothing because I ain't gonna end up with Justice Hill on Chris Jones. We ain't full slide nothing. we gonna let that running back protect from inside out. He getting the linebacker coming, or he gonna go out in the flats. We would not full slide and put a defensive end on the running back. Not around yonder. Anybody else about Oweh? All right, moving on to 6. Now, this is a topic I normally stay away from officiating, but I saw 2 or 3 good defensive plays from the secondary that were called penalties that really changed the game. And what do y'all think about the officiating for the first 2 games?
Well, the PI call, me and B have we're on the opposite ends of that. I don't think it was pass interference.
Which one? The last one?
On the end zone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Brandon Stevens.
Yeah. Because he had. I don't think he grabbed his jersey. You're allowed to have your hand on the receiver as long as you don't change their direction. All right. I don't think he did that. Like they were fighting for position, but you both have a right to the ball. And yes, he did have his hand on him, but I don't think that affected like his movement in any way. I think they should have let that go. But I don't know. B disagrees.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead, B. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, when I watched it live, I thought that Brandon had his hands, on the outside of Adams' arms, and it was essentially kind of hold, and you see that a lot on fade passes, and because they're just throwing it to the back corner, and both the receiver and the corner do that. But this ball was thrown short, and while I was watching it live, it looked to me like Devontae was trying to turn, and he was holding them. But then I went back and I watched it earlier today and saw a different angle, and it didn't look as much like that. So I'm not really sure. Leaning more towards it probably shouldn't have been called.
So I sent that clip to a friend of mine that coaches in college, and to get some unbiased eyes, because I ain't want to be like I was with my purple shades on. And I'm going to read you his response verbatim. He says, "I say no call. They both are jockeying for positions. The DB has just as much right to that ball as a wide receiver. The DB was in better position to catch a pick than the wide receiver was to catch a TD. Call could have went on the offense easily. That's why it's a no call in my book. Refs tell us all the time that when the ball is in the air, they see 2 receivers going for the ball, not a DB and a wide receiver." So
yeah. I agree with that. I mean, they're both fighting for position. Brandon Stevens has just as much right to battle for the football as Devontae. Devontae had his hands on him too. There's just, and the officiating. I mean, we went over the Chiefs game. That was just weird.
Yeah.
And this game, I wasn't as mad at the Matabike play because in real time, like, that's so hard. Like, that's such a hard call for the ref. Because that did look like a face mask in real time.
Yeah, and they can't review that, right?
But it's like,
I don't think so.
How difficult is it to just be like, it wasn't a face mask, over and out? You know what I'm saying? Like, how difficult is that? That's a big situation.
But they don't want that. They want people up here arguing about calls the next day and continuing to talk about last week's game all the way up until next week's game.
Yeah. That makes sense.
What did y'all think about the Kansas City pass interference on 4th and 16?
That was pass interference.
Yeah, I thought it was a good call.
I thought it was too, but then immediately online it was all the refs bailed the Chiefs out again, and all they cheating for Kansas City. I'm like, okay.
I mean, that was pass interference to me.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
plus, I wanted somebody else to be 0-2 with us. Shit. I was happy.
Carolina right there with you, Coach.
So I'm all for the 0-2s, baby. Let's see. Dale dropped 20. He says, "Nah, for real. What happens if Lamar gets injured? What if an injury he never recovers from? Then we are playing our best QB of Ravens history, and do what prove Harbaugh is as good as Vanilla Ice."
I know the answer to that one. What happens if he gets an injury that he never recovers from? 6
We pick
straight
early.
losing seasons.
We
You
pick
beat
early.
Carolina.
And
But
you never
no,
find another quarterback.
so that's a good question. I did, ask myself that on that. I lost track how many times Crosby got to Lamar. I think sorry for the second or third sack when he beat Falele and he came full speed and just hit Lamar.
Mhm.
Like those are the type of hits you cannot allow.
Right.
You cannot allow that. Should have gotten him benched immediately. That should have been okay. Ben Cleveland, you're at the doghouse. Get in there. Don't let that happen.
But
It's
Jose,
one thing to get beat, but
Jose, Falele practices hard.
man,
And can you say that he got beat if he did not attempt to block him?
so he. I mean, I know you're saying that for last, but he pretty much told on himself in that press conference, right? When he asked about that, he pretty much admitted that Ben Cleveland is in the doghouse because he emphasized
we
practice.
Gonna get to it. Okay. I got that queued up. Trust me.
Okay.
Trust me.
But
You
yeah,
got that
you
queued
can't
up.
let hits like that happen to your quarterback. Protect him at all costs, and that should have been the main focus of your practices. Protect Lamar at all costs. If those guys can't get it done, you get somebody in there that can get it done. But you can never let a player like Max Crosby go full speed and hit your quarterback. Ever, ever, ever.
People in the chat, what does this mean?
That's Judon's.
He just got sacked.
Oh, okay.
That means something different in my house. That means I miss her.
This dude right here, boy. That dude, he is crazy. All right. Next question. And this one might ruffle some feathers right here. Let me get it queued up for the chat. Because this one might ruffle some feathers. Chat, I'm going to let y'all see it first before I tell the fellas. Throw it out there. Let them see it. All right, so question number 7. Is Roquan still on the team?
He's there. He's there. I expect him to pick it up this season. I mean, he started out the first week. I didn't think he played that bad.
He
had an
had 11
interception.
tackles. It just don't seem like it.
Well, middle linebackers don't impact the game like that. That's why we weren't a big fan of drafting Patrick Queen for that reason. We weren't a big fan of trading for and then paying Roquan Smith for that reason. I mean, if you're worried about that position, you had CJ Mosley in the house, just pay him the money.
Yep.
That out of all the moves that we made, that was the cheapest option. Didn't seem like it at the time, but that's how the salary cap works. That's how the market works, right? He's at the top of his position at the time. You pay CJ Mosley, and you have one of the top linebackers in the league to this day, right? And you don't have to waste your first round pick on Patrick Queen to get 1.5 years out of him. And didn't let him go. You don't have to waste a second round pick to trade for Roquan Smith and then pay $100 million for him. And we're sitting here mad that he's just being a linebacker. I don't think there's anything wrong with him. Just being a linebacker. He'll make some plays here and there throughout the season, but like those days of there being a Ray Lewis are over.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's not the type of league we're in now. Who's the best linebacker in the league? Like what kind of Fred Warner. How many like major like big time plays does he make?
But I wouldn't say that those days are over necessarily. I mean, we just watched in the Super Bowl, Dre Greenlaw erased Travis Kelce in the first half until he got overexcited trying to run back out on the field. It just Roquan's not the guy. Like, not that he's not a good player; he's a very good player. Yeah. But we kind of laugh with I think it was the Trib. We were talking about the tiers. Like, people act like Roquan is Ray Lewis. But he's not. He just has that kind of attitude, right?
I don't think Greenlaw, Warner, I don't think any of those players can affect the game the way Ray Lewis, Patrick Willis, Luke Kuechly used to. I don't think they, none of these players can affect the game the way those players used to.
I think Fred do. I don't think Greenlaw do. I think Fred. And I found out something about Fred today that I did not know. I did not know Fred came into the league as a safety.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that till today. I was listening to something and they was talking about Fred. They like converted safety to a linebacker. I did not know Fred came into the league as a safety, and that lets me know why he runs the way he run.
Yeah.
So I think Fred impacts the game. I don't think Greenlaw does. I don't think Rowe does. But Fred may be the only linebacker that impacts, like off-ball linebacker that impacts the game. Good play, Justin Simmons. That impacts the game like that.
But that's a consequence of the Ravens zagging when everyone zigs and then paying non-premium positions. Where's Kyle Hamilton? Everybody, I think everybody on this panel said that he was going to be in the conversation for Defensive Player of the Year, right? And again, not saying that he's playing poorly or anything like that, but you're not making impact plays. And if you're going to be that type of player, you're going to be put on that tier, that pedestal, you have to be able to make plays when your team needs plays. It's not just about making plays, right?
Right.
Like if you go out there and you get 3 picks on Josh Allen, but your team is already 0-4, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
right?
True.
If you pick off Gardner Minshew and you save that game, that's more impactful.
And that's what they need.
If you have 3 tackles and that interception, you played a great game.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you have 17 tackles and no impactful plays in the fourth quarter, that doesn't matter.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you asked that question. I'm glad people are asking that question of both of those players, because that should be the expectation of this team. That's where all the resources are poured into. Okay, Kyle Hamilton, Marcus Williams, Roquan Smith, Justin Madubuike. When the game gets close like that, it should be on their shoulders to turn it around. Force a turnover when you need a turnover. Get a stop when you need a stop. It's on them. And they haven't done it through 2 games so far. It's still early, but they're not.
I will come to their defense though. I will come to their defense. Now, when they're fresh, first half, they're making plays. They're balling out. In the second half, when we need them to make plays, they don't. That's obvious. That's a given. I'm not gonna say they ain't whatever. But what I will say is that they're spending too much time on the field in the second half, and the offense is not maintaining drives to let them be fresh in the second half to go out there and get 3 and outs or 6 and outs, or something quick to get off the field. So they're going out there tired because they go out there and everybody's going the offense is gonna find something on you. You're gonna give up a drive. So you give up a 8-9 play drive, then you come off the field and your offense go 3 and out, and then you go right back out there. You probably finna give up another 8-9 play drive. Then your offense go out there and do 4 and out, and then now you're tired, and so you can't stop nothing now.
You know how you can get off the field faster? Not letting Brock Bowers convert 3rd and long, left and right on you.
It's because you're tired.
Yeah,
but you're saying that the offense is gonna find something, that they're gonna get drives. No, stop them. That's your job. That's why you have all the resources.
I disagree. If our offense can't sustain drives to help the defense out, I'm not gonna say it's all defense. Now they should make some plays, but the offense has to stay on the field to help them out. They can't keep running them boys out there, and they playing 2 times as many plays as the offense. You can't keep going 3 and out, 4 and out.
That's you being logical, right? Because
absolutely.
It's an unfair expectation.
The 2 sides work together, right?
You're right. They should work together, right? Yes.
But we sat right here on this panel and saw people in the chat blame the offense when you lost to Miami. When the offense put up 38 points or whatever it was, right? So the expectation is never on the defense, ever for them to do
Right.
anything. So
right now, it's
I mean, it is what it is. Like, it could be unfair if you want it to be unfair, but that's where the expectation has to be because that's where the resources are.
no, you took the words right out of my mouth. It's an unfair expectation, but that's an expectation that this organization put on them. Right? They said we wanted to be Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, Haloti Ngata, Terrell Suggs, because those guys used to do that. Right? It didn't matter if we got 3 and outs. Like we knew when we had Kyle Bolu.
But them guys got them.
Yeah.
It didn't matter what the offense did. Them guys got them, and that's what they think the defense still can do, and they can't.
Yes,
Terrell Suggs and Ngata and Ray. It didn't matter. All 4 of us could have been out there playing offense, and them guys still were gonna get their stops.
Yes.
Now, it just don't work like that no more, though.
No, it doesn't, and it's not fair to compare this group to them. But that's what the organization is trying to replicate. They're trying to say, hey, we can be like that those old Ravens teams we had that kind of defense, and we got a superstar quarterback that can maintain plays on the offensive side of the ball, but it's not realistic. So yes, we're blaming the defense, but we're not blaming the players. We're blaming how this team is constructed. You can't win like this.
Yeah, and I'm being devil's advocate too. So I believe what I'm saying, but I'm just for the sake of argument to just kind of give a full picture. So I ain't disagreeing. I'm just
what you're saying is right.
Different arguments out there.
No, what you're saying is right. Yeah,
because it's also not fair to ask the offense to go out there with poor play calling, no O-line, a 30-plus-year-old running back, and 1 wide receiver, and say, "Man, sustain some drives."
Go score 30. Right. True.
Yeah.
Chris, you want to chime in?
You guys knocked that out the park.
Okay, let me get this set up. So we can talk about this elephant in the room. Can y'all no, that man say Falele.
Daniel, I still believe.
Believe what? That he gonna have a nice dinner tonight?
He might need to sit down with Bryce for a few weeks, but I still believe.
Okay. Can y'all see that?
Yes.
Okay. Let me see. Can y'all hear this? Hold on.
Held his own when he's playing football. What does he have to do to become an option to play?
Can you hear that? Can y'all hear that?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, if Ben had earned the job,
Can the chat hear it?
I know they can. Y'all can't.
Nah, but I know it's something stupid coming out of it.
So I mean, you look at the tape. He didn't beat out Daniel or anybody. I think Ben's a good player. I like Ben. I want Ben to take the next step. He's in what year is he in? 3rd year? 4th year? He's in his 4th year. Ben knows what he needs to do. If he wants playing time, he knows how he needs to play, and he knows how he needs to practice when he gets that chance. So our evaluation right now is that Daniel outplayed Ben. Just fact, straight up. Matter of fact. If we thought Ben had outplayed Daniel, he'd be the starting right guard. So if I see that Ben's playing better than Daniel, then Ben will be the starting right guard, and he practices every day. So it's like just to tell all the guys, I mean, show me. And that goes, we're talking about Ben because that's the question. I love Ben. And I think Ben can be a great player. I want to see it. Just like I want to see it with Daniel. Okay, just I want to see it with all the players. So we'll keep fighting for that. And those guys will keep fighting for that. We coach our guys, and our guys compete, and we're going to continue to improve.
So I couldn't hear it but I actually watched this part earlier. I know what he said.
Okay.
Right. Basically, paraphrase. He's just saying, hey, Ben Cleveland has to show me in practice that he can be the guy. All right. Mm-hmm. He said, I like Ben. What year is he in? 3, 4. Oh, he's in 4th year. Yeah. I like Ben. But he, Falele just beat him out in practice. And just the way he said it and the way he emphasized practice tells me he just doesn't like the way Ben Cleveland practices. I think performance-wise, he performs better than Falele, but he's not doing it the Harbaugh way, right? Like he wants Cleveland to practice a certain way, to approach it a certain way, and he may not be 100% wrong here, right? It could be we go back to the conditioning drill, which I think is kind of ridiculous, but I think he's trying to emphasize that Ben Cleveland ain't in shape, and that could be an issue where you look good, but I can't keep you out there, but if he's better, you got to get him some playing time. You know, it can't be 100% your way because your way isn't perfect. You know, and that's saying it lightly.
Right. And it even his answer when Cordell because that wasn't Cordell's question. Cordell asked him a question earlier about Ben Cleveland about rotating other positions. Yeah. And that's when he really got sassy and was like, yeah, I'm open to it, depending on who it is and the options available. And because that's when I made that tweet like, oh, Ben Cleveland is never getting it. We've seen the last of Ben Cleveland. He hadn't even got to the part I just played yet when I made that tweet.
Yeah,
that he got to that after. I was like, oh my God, we'll never see Ben Cleveland again.
Yeah, so why is he still on the team?
Never ever.
You know, why have him on the team? You had opportunities to bring in some other veterans. Why did you keep him on the roster? You had this issue with Ben Cleveland from last year. So why is he still here if you knew you weren't going to play him? You didn't just decide right before the season starts, that if he'd have done everything in that last practice, sure, but no, you knew this. I can't get with that.
Chris Dip? Oh no, Chris. I'm looking at something old. Never mind. You up there? If you want to like this to me shows that he's really trying to prove a point. He's really trying to prove a point. So you'd rather lose games, have your locker room and your fan base in disarray, than to at least put them out there and see if it looks better.
Mm-hmm. Well, because then it's like he lost. Not the game, but him personally lost. Yeah. If Ben Cleveland goes out there and plays better and he was wrong and this guy who doesn't do it the way he thinks he should be doing it is actually outplaying one of his guys. And just another reason that John Harbaugh should not be the coach of the Baltimore Ravens anymore. You can't be in a position like that, not even just in football or as a coach. You can't be in any kind of leadership position like that and hold grudges against the people below you.
Yep. Yeah. I agree.
He always has to be the smartest person. Always. Even when he's wrong. I forgot what it was last year that he was just flat out wrong about.
Probably throwing challenge flags.
Anytime he ever threw that
flag. It was something where he was just like clearly wrong. And he just doubled down. And it's like people like that.
I'm serious, Chris. I think it was a challenge flag.
It probably was. Yeah. But it's just you just double down instead of just saying, you know what, I messed up. And
I respect you more if you did that.
People who own up to it, they tend to grow more and evolve. People who are stubborn and just always want to be right, even when they're wrong, they tend to stay in their ways, and we're seeing that. We've been seeing that. And
like Dan Campbell.
Right, Dan Campbell. Look at him. Like the way he constructed his staff, like he was a joke when he came in. Like to the national media. Everybody's like, oh, look at his meathead and stuff like that. But then you sit down and you listen to how he constructed his staff, and he's like, I want people who I get along with. Like the X's and O's, like that's all cool, but we need to get along first, and then the other stuff has to match up what we want to do. Mm-hmm. So everybody on his staff, they all have a relationship, a strong relationship. And to me, like that's how you build a culture. That's how you build a foundation, and that's how you evolve. Everybody has a say, like, and it's not like I'm the man. You shut up and you do what I say. Everybody knows he's the boss, but you have an opinion. All right, let me know. Let me hear it. Even if it's negative on me, let me know. Because if you think I'm doing something wrong, I want my people closest to me to let me know. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't seem like it's that way in Baltimore.
Yeah. I agree 100% with that. Mm-hmm. John Parsons dropped 5. He said if we don't make the playoffs with this team, then I think Harbaugh should go, which we all think that anyway. Who should we hire? He says Ben Johnson is his top choice, followed by Aaron Glenn, both which are Detroit Lions assistants. I like Ben. I don't know if I want another defensive coach though, so I'm not gonna follow with the Aaron Glenn thing. But Ben would be somebody I'd hope they would consider. But definitely, I think we need an offensive coach to unlock the Ferrari that's still running it at 28 miles per hour in a 60 mile per hour speed limit.
100%.
Our Ferrari can't even get up to full speed. We don't even know the 0 to 60 in our Ferrari because they can't never get to 60. They got a governor on it.
Yeah. Who should be hired? I don't know right now. I have to look at everybody and possible candidates. Eric Bieniemy, I still like. Won't mind giving him a shot, but I don't know. I don't know right now. Somebody else. That's the answer.
Right. Somebody else. Some names thrown out there: Slowick and Clint Kubiak.
I like Johnson and Slowick.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like Johnson. I just, anytime I watch the Lions, right, I'm like, I know that that Jahmyr Gibbs is the best player on the field. And I like David Montgomery fine. But why David Montgomery got 9 carries and Jahmyr Gibbs got 1?
Bruh, in the streets, Brodney, when I said that last year, Lions fans came and ripped me to shreds. And it was obvious to me from game 1 that Gibbs was better than Johnson.
Yeah,
Gibbs was better than Montgomery.
Yeah, he has it, right? And Montgomery's a fine player.
Mm-hmm.
You can give him the ball, but it's one of those things where it seems like he's trying to be too cute all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously, going out and taking all the interviews and be like, no, never mind. 2 years in a row doesn't really run me the right way either.
Right. Yeah.
No. But
All right, and lastly, Donovan says Harbaugh wants all the control, but none of the accountability. He's the king of clowning, the Duke of dumbness. The king of clowning and the Duke of dumbness. So let me do this right quick. 125. We hit the 125 like mark, and I have been keeping up. I have been giving points in the background. So if you want to check your points, do exclamation point points. But if you're a lurker, you probably have not gotten points. The only way you get on the board is to chat with, talk amongst yourselves, talk to me, talk to other people, and then you'll get on the board. So when I give points, they add up. So everybody that gets to 1,000 points, in about 14 days, you'll be put on the wheel. Everybody that's over 1,000, and the last person standing at the end of that month gets the prize. So if you got, like Brandon, I'm looking at it now. Brandon got 15,000. So his name will be on the wheel 15 times. The first month, his name was on there 20 times. But don't let that discourage you, because he did not win the first month. Brandon had 20 names up there the first time. I think Miss Yolanda had 3, maybe 4, and she won. So don't let that discourage you. And right now I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, at least 19 people with over 1,000. So we'll definitely have a bunch of names on the wheel, and that's going to be a stream within itself. And it's funny to see the names slowly come off the wheel. So, and that's a little fun little stream that we'll do at the end of the month. But Jose B, let the people know what y'all got going on.
Yes, we are the Lunch Break Hot Take. We do a live show every Wednesday night at 7:15 p.m. Eastern Time, and sometimes we stream after games. We've been doing that the last 2 weeks. Haven't been good, but it was a necessary venting session. Okay, but we also do an overtime show, which happens after our main show. Okay, you can find that on our Patreon, patreon.com/LBHT show. You can follow us on everywhere, just about on social media at LBHT Show. No matter where you go, it's going to be at LBHT Show. Also, we do a boxing podcast with our brother OTR Mike, he's been absent lately. He's been working his butt off, man, but he'll be back soon. But check it out if you're into boxing. Ring Kings Podcast is where it's at. Also, we mentioned OTR Mike. He has a podcast as well. Open Mic with OTR Mike. All right. New episodes will come out eventually. I keep saying they're coming, but they are going to be coming out. And then Hendo is not here. The Road Pod, also check him out. He just put out a video today. He puts out a lot of videos. So ROUG Pod is where you can find him.
All right, Ravenville, exclamation, points, no dash. Exclamation, then the word points right after. Make sure you add the S on it, no dash. No dash. Chris, besides our show on Wednesday at 6:30-ish, what y'all got going on over there at the Deep Cover?
We ain't got shit going on.
Nothing at all.
No, we haven't spoken about anything. Maybe
Okay.
maybe next week. We'll see.
So, well, for those that don't know, they dropped the pod last week, and you can go check that out at Deep Cover Podcast on all your major podcast formats. And I say that, but I only know about Apple Podcasts, so that's where I hear that. I don't know about what the rest of them, man, but that's why I hear it on Apple Podcasts, and I love hearing them guys talk ball. Him, Mike, and Kerry talk ball. And the thing with Kerry is Kerry make great points, but you gotta sit there and wait on him. He got that slow lingo, and you know he had great points and great thoughts coming out, but you gonna have to wait on him.
Man,
Whereas I talk super fast.
Gary had me dying today because he said he was talking about play calling, and he said, "I don't know why you calling these plays with offensive linemen that can't even move furniture around the house." He wrote that. I was on the train just laughing to myself.
All right, this last thing from Dow, he dropped a 20. He says, let's be real. John took over for a team that had 3 Hall of Famers at each level of the defense, not mentioning the O-line or Ray Rice or the greatest defensive leader. What has he done since 2012? And he put behind that hire Kubiak.
And Quan Bolden was on that team.
Yeah, Daryl, you pretty much said it all, buddy. Like that's what, and Jose been saying that. I mean, I might be Hendo that been saying that he ain't done nothing. He just inherited a team that had leaders.
Oh, we've been saying that
he was just there.
We've been saying that too.
And so now that he actually got to coach, it's showing. Well, no, I take that back. Even after we paid Joe, when he should have been coaching, he wasn't.
What he did on Sunday is what he's been doing for years. Well, it predates Lamar years. He coaches down to the level of competition. This has been B's knock from the Super Bowl. Says, hey, B's been saying that from that time. He said, no, he's not a good coach. He never has his team prepared.
Mm-hmm.
Right? He prepares them for the big games. Right? And we go out there and we beat these teams that we think that, we're not going to win those games. We win those games. But the teams that we're supposed to take care of, we struggle with. That's a coach that doesn't have his team prepared.
You know what John Harbaugh's like, Coach? He's like if, Ed Reed and them told Larry Coker, go sit in your office, we got this. And Larry didn't go sit in the office. Like he just said, I'm going to coach this team. I'm incompetent. I'm going to take all this talent and we're going to win 9 games and we're going to go to the Holiday Bowl.
Every year. Every year.
Well, that's why I give Larry Coker credit, because Larry Coker went and sat in his office and he got himself a ring.
Sure did. He knew his role.
2 rings, actually.
He knew his role. And if it wasn't for a phantom
BS.
not personal foul, holding or whatever, pass interference, we should have probably ran about 3 in a row, but let's not even get started on that. So that is the roundup for 9/16/2024. We have a huge issue in our organization, and despite how bad Balele's playing, despite the mess at right tackle, despite the learning curve for Voorhees, despite the frustration with Lamar, despite the learning situation on the defense, or the DBs can't hold leads, or the defense in general can't hold leads, the main problem is Jonathan Harbaugh. And like I said, y'all know I'd be quick not to blame coaches. Who's Dip? Jose Dip? I get him back in a minute.
He's right there. Oh,
I can't see him. But I mean, people can't see him. Hold on, let me get him back. Let me get Jose back. There you go. Harbaugh is problem number 1 in my opinion. So, that's what I got for y'all, man. Y'all got any closing thoughts? Any closing words for the people?
Problem number 2 is Eric DeCosta.
Hey, that wouldn't be. I ain't gonna disagree with you on that. And like I said,
He's
y'all
number
know
one on my
I
list.
try to stay away from bashing the coaches, but at this point, after hearing like the way his whole demeanor and the vitriol in his voice changed when he started talking about Ben Cleveland. And again, I ain't no Ben Cleveland like fan. It may seem like it, but I just know what's right is right. But the way he talked about Ben Cleveland today, and it's not so much the words, it's the changing of tone. The he set up and like leaned forward. The smugness, yes. Mm-hmm. I'm like, this.
And Coach, I also want you to know that's something that's been said about Harbaugh for years as well around here. You talk to the local media and they'll tell you he like from early on, they don't like that about him.
Mm-hmm. Which is wild.
Yeah.
So, but y'all hold on for a minute. Let me run the credits for the people, and I'll be give me about 30 seconds, and then we gonna be out. All right, good people. So let me run these credits. Let y'all see everybody that donated and did that for the stream. I appreciate it. Appreciate you all. Let's run through them real quick. Thanks for supporting the stream. Donations from 86 Ghosts, SGA Hornet, KP, thank you. Super chats from Rave Kingdom, Jared Green, Daryl Martin, multiple times Daryl Martin, G. Isaac, Donovan Carter, 86 Ghost, John Parson. So thank you guys for supporting the channel. I appreciate everybody for helping me get to 10K. And we will see you guys individually throughout the week, but back here for the roundup next Monday. And I appreciate you guys, and we'll see y'all on the next one. Peace and love, y'all.